time. I will use my machine and hook it up. You have two manuals right now. The one with Inscribe at the front is the old version of the app, so it doesn't look the same as what it does now. So I've created another one today, twice, because I deleted it by accident. Panic mode at 3:30 in the afternoon, and I don't have my manual, I deleted it, created it, so I did it really fast. So if you see any spelling mistakes, please forgive me. So I know that a lot of you have troubles with passwords when you come into the council chambers.
Yeah,
So I'm
like
going to give you the
in.
opportunity to choose your own password for each
I did the
one.
last time.
So it has to have
What am I doing here?
at least one capital letter, at least one number, and at least one special character, 8 characters or more.
Okay.
So if you want to write your name and your password, I will program it for you after the meeting and activate you all. So you guys know that the next meeting...
Password, you said, eh?
Password, yeah. The next meeting is completely on eScribe, so we're not doing the agenda.
I don't know what to tell you. What's
Name
this
and
one?
password.
Just my name and password?
At least one capital letter, at least one number, and at least one special character.
Oh, yeah.
So with a star or a question mark or
What are you asking?
exclamation mark.
Ton
nom and a password with at least 8 characters, one capital letter, one number, and one special character.
Okay. I don't know.
Cute.
It's like a ballot, holding it like a ballot.
That's hilarious. I saw that.
But you want one number?
One number, one capital letter, and one special
Oh,
character.
you can't have 2 capital letters?
Yes, you can.
So
At
if
least
I-
one.
It's just someone from my email.
And then one that's,
Okay.
you just want one number?
At
that what you
least
want?
one. With a special character somewhere. Maybe a
Except for
star,
the email
because
and
she's
your,
the star of your
yeah,
birth.
the computer and email are
Okay.
Can I
different.
put a question mark?
Yes.
Because the one to log into this, or this, you have to keep changing it.
One
I
number?
just changed one of the,
It has 8 characters?
At least,
started with
yeah.
exclamation point, then went to the hashtag, and I think I'll
You'll
have the hashtag.
remember.
I'll assign it to me next.
So Sharon, her year
I'll
of
just start
birth,
over.
and a star, something like that.
I'm very complicated that way, just.
And MG?
Yeah. 2 ends,
And what's this one?
1.
BINGO.
Question mark on it.
Question mark, exclamation mark.
Forget it.
Does anybody find it cool in here? We had meetings in here all day.
I turned up the temperature.
It's good.
I can turn the air conditioning right off.
Yeah, I'm frozen.
Yeah,
Seriously?
because,
This meeting's going to heat up.
We
Oh.
had
All kinds of
budget
hot air.
meetings here all day.
Glenn-
We got a little
Glenn's
stale.
feeling it.
Yeah, sorry.
A little stale. Just pay attention.
So you want 8, so I'll do it this way here.
Password 1, 2, 3 should work.
Correct, the shield's code. It's
A
1, 2, 3,
dot at
4.
the end?
It's the kind of
Period?
combination idiot has on his lunch.
Just,
Hey, that's my comment. Look at your comment.
So 8 and Sharon.
As I said.
Okay, so I need an extra character, like a star, a plus, or a question mark.
She's a star, so.
Oh, there you go.
Have to be a star.
So a star right after.
oh, water bill.
Thank you. Maureen, if you decide that you want the app, just let me know after the...
Yeah, I'm gonna get it set up.
Oh, I'm talking to Mike.
How you feeling, boss?
I'm feeling much better, thank you.
So this is the manual that we're going to be using.
Like I have a bit of a cold, but I'm feeling much better.
This one here. This is the manual that we're going to be using. So on page 2, You have the portal name, which is cornwall.escribemeetings.com. So you enter that, and then your username.
Enter it where?
Yeah.
You're not going to enter. You're not playing with the computer tonight. You're just watching me.
Oh, okay,
Oh.
Watching me and following with the manual.
okay.
So
So
our
my-
username the same as we would have for our computer here?
Pardon me?
The username is the same as our login?
It's your first initial and last name,
Thank you.
and the password that you have chosen. Oops. And that's how you log in. So I'm going to go around the screen and show you the different buttons that we have. So here, you see that it's eScribe. They are changing, oh, there it is, popped up. Perfect. Cornwall is up there. This button right here on top, the first one is a search view. The question mark actually brings up the guide that they have provided us with. I'm going to be asking them to replace it with the guide that I prepared because it works with the new interface. And the three little dots over here, you can work offline. So if you download an agenda, do it while you're connected to the internet, and then you can work off your documents without a connection to internet. And you can also log out. User settings just has, you know, your name and the portal name. So there are three sections of this front page. On the top left-hand side, you have announcements. So both Debbie and I are able to put announcements there. So for example, if we were having a meeting around supper time and we want to make an announcement that we're going to be serving dinner, this is where we would put it. And you can see that as the minute that you open up your system. The bottom section here, the resources, we're going to be putting documents like our code of conduct, our procedural bylaw, maybe the guide to this system. We're going to be putting documents that you may want to access during a meeting or at home whenever you're looking at agendas. These are our cameras, sorry, I'm reading in camera here and it came out of my mouth. These are your meetings. So right now we have some dates put in for future meetings. You can view these meetings two different ways. If you click on this button over here, it's either as a list or as a grid. So the list will give you all of the meetings in the system in chronological order, and when you click the grid, it will break it down in different meetings. So you have to remember that right now we're only using it for in-camera meetings and council meetings, but next year at this time we'll probably have all of our committee meetings on here as well, so you can really sort through. You'll have lots to look at. You can look at meetings by today.
Is this minutes of committees?
No.
They will, yes.
Oh, you have the minutes on there?
So we'll have all the agendas and all the minutes
Of
and
all the
the,
committees?
of all the committees.
Who
That's the
inputs
end
all
goal.
that data?
I'm sorry?
Who inputs all that data?
Everyone is going to get shown how to use the system, the way that I'm using it for council. So you can search the meetings by today. You can choose all of the meetings. You can also click on pinned, and we'll talk about pinning a meeting later on. They will come up here as well. So when you look at these meetings, you'll notice that there's different colors along the side. So when it's gray, it means that the agenda is not ready for viewing. Orange means that you have already visited the site. Gray means that, of course, our agenda isn't created, and green means that it's been published and is ready for viewing, and it shows that you have not visited the site yet. So those are the three colors. If you click, again,
Each time you visit the site, you get the next,
I'm going to click on this one. This is the only one that I can actually view because it's the only one in the system. This one here, October 15, which is our last meeting. You'll remember a lot of the different reports that we're going to be looking at. If you hover over the meeting and click on the address, it's not working, so I'll make a note of that. It will bring up the map. So if you look in your book at page 7, the map of the meeting will come up. Of course, council meetings are usually here in council chambers, but once we have all our committees, we have a whole bunch of different locations for all the meetings, and you can locate it quick and easy. If you look at these little buttons over here on the right-hand side, the first one shows you how many documents create this agenda. So if I look at the council meeting of the October 15th, the little circle there says 52 attachments. So one report is an attachment, and every attachments to that report is another attachment. The gray button with the timer will turn blue when the minutes have been published. So the same way that we do now, the minutes are not published until they have been approved at the next council meeting by council. So the draft minutes will be attached to your agenda, but will not be published and put online until they have a motion to approve them. Next to those, you have people buttons, and they have every photo of you have been uploaded now, so everyone has a photo there. We'll go back into the details after and show you what that can do. The white button shows you how many attendees may be present. So the last one in the lineup, for regular meeting council, we have 45 people that could come to the meeting or create an agenda for us. And the thumbtack up here lets you pin a meeting. And again, we'll talk about pinning, but that gives you quick access to perhaps the ongoing meeting or maybe the committee meetings that you'll be on. Right-clicking on the meeting brings up this screen. So you can go to a meeting by clicking that option. You can pin this meeting as well. I want to see this one. If you click on it, it will bring you right to the meeting as we're conducting it. So as we're conducting the meeting, Debbie will be at the front controlling, and she will be clicking on every agenda item as we move through. The nice thing about this system is it integrates with our overhead projector, our webcasting. So every subject will be webcasted and will be attached to the one report on the agenda. So if you want to go back and visit that one item, you can see on the agenda, and you can also view it, just that portion of it.
during the meeting. Or
After the meeting, if you want to go back.
show a picture of me crying here soon?
I think you're smiling in your picture.
So will these guys be on these computers?
No. So if you want to access the app, it's only on the tablet.
Okay.
You can still view the agenda online.
Yeah.
But it's electronic like you had before. You won't be able to make your notes on your
Yeah.
desktop.
Okay.
On this here, you'll see as we get closer to the end, you'll see how you can mark up documents.
Okay, thank you.
So you just said you won't be able to put in notes.
If you're using your desktops.
Okay.
So if you're viewing the agenda on your computer that's hardwired, you won't be able to see your notes that you're making on your tablet.
Yeah, but at home, when I'm going through the agenda, when I want to put notes in a specific area, can you do it
Yes.
On this system?
Yes.
Okay.
You can do it on the report itself, and you can do it on every attachment.
Okay.
And it's only for your view.
Sorry?
Nobody else can view it.
But nobody else will be able to view that, so it's really just your notes. So if you wanted to,
But we still get hard copies?
That was one of my questions for you. Who wants a hard copy?
so I think we would recommend for a few meetings, we want to provide hard copies until we see how everybody's making out. But we'll only produce hard copies for those that, because we do have some counselors right now that do not want hard copies. They view it electronically. So it's no big deal to print it.
What will be different is that whenever you get an agenda package, whenever I create the agenda from all the attachments, it creates a PDF document. And you'll see when we get into looking at the reports, it automatically numbers every report in order with all the attachments in order from page 1 to 176. And so for us, rather than printing every document separately and every attachment separately, making sure they're in the right order, it's just one click of the button. So whenever we do print up your copies, it'll be hard copy, double staple, like this booklet, but it won't have any tabs anymore. And you will see that the agenda shell, the first few pages, will show you where to go on what page to see that report. Okay, so let's open up, this is what we call a meeting site. Oops, I clicked the wrong one. So we'll go through the buttons on this view here. The home button at the top can always bring you back to your home screen. Your portal is what we call it. So it brings you back to your original page. You'll also see here that since I've gone in, it went from green to yellow, so it shows that I've been into this meeting already. The first top part here, the announcements. So I had prepared this announcement to go to administration, but then later found out that I put it in a different spot, a wrong spot. So I'm still learning the system as well, so please be patient with me. But if you click on this section here, the announcement will come up in a readable format. You can scroll up and down, and you can read it.
Put that again, Manal.
Yeah.
Clicked on. Where'd you click on? Right on the...
I clicked on the message itself.
Okay, that's good.
Just like that. And then it comes up and it's, it's paragraph and it's easier to read. You can scroll up and down. This portion here is the attendees. Actually, I should go through the buttons at the top first. This one here is a request to speak, and we're not doing that electronically. There's a glitch in the system, they can't remove it. But right now, it's not working, so even if you try to do that, it won't work. This one here is the search button. Now, whatever view that you're looking at, when you do a search, it'll search the view where you are only. So if I wanted to do a search, it's only going to search this meeting here. But if I did a search on my home page, it will search the whole database. So if you click on the search, it brings up this view here. And if I wanted to do a search, no, sorry, never mind I said that. This is how you close it. So you can minimize it, you can open it up, and this is how you close it. You can pin a meeting by clicking this icon here.
You can what?
Pin it. So pin it is just whenever you click on it, it will come up in this view here. This is your download center. So these are where your documents are going to get downloaded, and this is where you're going to have your notes. And again, this button here brings up the manual. So the attendee list, like I said, it's been updated now, and your photos are all there. Whoever is using the app only, so that is council. Debbie and I have the apps, but for teaching purposes only. I think Maureen will probably choose to have the app because she can make her notes. And one other person, Tracy, has chosen to have the app. So we only have those photos loaded up here. But if you click on the person, so of course all of council are first. If you click on the person, contact information will come up. So here she's a participant, so that means she attends meetings only. For us who write reports, we are called contributors. She is also the chair of this regular council meeting, and you can email her directly by just clicking on the link here. We'll send her an email. Status, if Debbie has already put her in as attending, that will show up here.
So Manon,
Yep.
based on that, you're saying that only so many people have opted in to use it. For next year, when we're talking about getting committees on board, is it only going to be council who are going to be using this? Or will it be extended to
No,
all?
so the link is available to all public. But what you can do, what they can't do, is make notes on your documents. So they don't have that option unless they purchase the app. Down here is your document section. In the document section, when we publish an agenda and we create the PDF, it will be here as a link, and that is shown on page 11 of your manual. You actually just click the one meeting, and your whatever pages, how many pages will come up from one. So for this meeting here, we had 176 pages, so it's from page 1 to 176. On the agenda shell, it tells you what page your report is on in the agenda package. So you have two ways of viewing. You can view by looking at this portion here, the regular council meeting, and you have the opportunity to open a PDF and look at the entire document.
But no, I have a question.
Yes.
So understanding that eScribe is not eGenda that we just used, but down the road, so quite often what we will do is we'll have a report to council, and the report to council might be a follow-up report from a previous report.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're generating that, should we be, like I think our practice in the past has been to attach the previous report so that it's there? And so sometimes our agendas might look like they're really quite thick, but the reality is we might have attached a lot of historical reports in case council wants to go back to review them. So do we still attach them as attachments? Or, I mean, we have to right now because we're talking about a different system, we would attach a PDF, but in the future, could it be a link to a previous report? Do you know? It's just a question. I know that I probably should have asked that during an administration training session, but
One thing that is available through this system, which we didn't have, we can defer an item. So perhaps it's for us to sit down and think, you know how we do a complex report we will give to receive, and then we come back with a recommendation. Maybe the recommendation will be to defer to the next meeting. And that way we can defer that report and it'll automatically be attached to the next agenda. But I will look into it, like if it was a report that was prepared, months ago.
But we did one, I did one a while ago on the airport, right? And the airport has a lot
Yeah.
of history to it, right? But if we could list links, we don't, like, it's not a big deal, I guess, if everybody's looking at it electronically, but if that were to print, again, it would print like this.
Yeah.
But if the links were there, then you could look at, like, say it was an old agreement or an old map or like
Yeah.
a review of the property.
I'll find out. I haven't seen anywhere on here where there's a link to a report, but I will ask the question, find out. So this is your agenda right here, one report at a time or one area at a time. So you can scroll up and down. You can scroll left to right. You can also expand this section by hovering and dragging where the three little circles are. You can drag them over, so you have more room to look at things. If you click on the little funnel right here, it opens up a search that will only search this agenda. And this is where I wanted to show you a while ago and I made a mistake, but if I type in childcare, worker, it brings up whatever is in that agenda. So if I click on child only, it will bring up 3 reports that has the word child in it. So it searches for those keywords that you're typing in, but only on this agenda. You can close this. So when you're looking at the headings, so every headings has different items, the same way that we do with our current agenda. If you look on the side, the paper clip indicates that we have attachments to this item. The green here, check mark, indicates that there is a resolution, but what we call a recommendation. So you'll see when we open one up, you will see the details of that report. So if I open up the annual Poppy Drive, this comes up. It's not the entire report. For that, you will have to click the attachment. But this comes up. And the resolution is what we are recommending council to make a motion with. On this here, this screen, is your item. It tells you which number it is. It gives you the name and number of the report. It has an attachment icon, and it has this little padlock. This little padlock here allows you to make private notes. These are notes that you're making on a separate document, so it won't be part of your report or attachment. These are just notes on the side. When you save these notes, they're for your eyes only. Nobody else can see it, including Debbie and I. Even as administrators of the program, we cannot view your notes. I do have to mention, though, there is an opportunity for you to delete this, but when you create a record under Municipal Freedom of Information Act, Protection of Privacy, you are creating a document, and by law, you are not able to get rid of it. You have to keep it stored. So it's not all of their clients that have to keep their records, so they have the opportunity for you to delete. So I'm asking you to please not delete your comments. You want to be careful what you put on there because it is subject to Freedom of Information requests. Yes.
Notes I take during a meeting, do those fall in the same category?
Notes that you take during a meeting on hard copy?
Yeah.
Technically, yes.
Good to know.
Uh-oh.
There's a few drawings of Todd that I'm going to have to delete.
Yeah.
Yeah, technically, yeah. A record is a record, whether it's digital, manual, voice, it's a record.
Okay, good to know.
So after you save it, where does it go and how do I find it again?
So let's, Todd wants to know.
Make it.
Save it.
Sure.
Wants to see those pictures.
I can close it.
Yeah. Okay.
Now my icon is green, so it indicates to me that there are notes.
Gotcha.
And by clicking it, it'll just opening it up again.
Okay, cool.
There it is. The other one that you can click, I'm going to move this over a little bit, is the paperclip. So right now in eAgenda, we have a report which is part of the agenda, but for this system here, eScribe has one document, and then your report is a Word document. So there's 2 different steps. So what you're looking at here, the middle screen, is what's in the system. Here is the actual report. So you can click the attach it one by one. And there it is. And you could go up and down. There it is. So you'll see that this is the report, and the approval details are at the end of each report.
So you'll no longer see our signatures,
No.
but you'll see that we've approved the report. But you
So
won't
you'll see the
our-
name, time, and date of the approval.
Okay.
So if you click on the paper clip, you can also open all the attachments at once. So you can do it one or the other. And so now you see that you have the report here, and you have the attachment afterwards, and you have your private notes all on one screen. And this is how you move with using these gray arrows.
Now, if I deleted my notes, right, I know you told us not to. How, would it be a record that you did make notes? No.
Good to know.
Say yes.
Next, we're going to look at
Can you
editing.
stop there at this point here?
Yep.
A little while ago, you talked about someone from the public could buy the app for the report.
No, it's so we're buying the app for council,
Yeah.
for the clerk's department, and myself and Tracy, because we often write a lot of notes on our agendas. So what the app does is the app allows you to write notes, and like if you have questions that you want to ask, because that's quite often, and we will sometimes write notes when we get feedback from council. If there's questions, we'll write things down so we'll have that ability. When it's used at the committee level, there's an expense to having the app. So at the committee level, they probably don't necessarily need that functionality. So it's not meant for the public. It's meant more so for the people that are using it, that are part of a committee.
Okay.
And I don't think, like initially, I don't think it's necessary. You'll have access to it for a PAC.
Yeah.
We can monitor that, on a go-forward basis and see if down the road there's a need, but.
Are you saying committee members will have access to?
So right now, eGenda is the tool that is used for all of our committee agendas. And minutes are attached to eGenda. So if you were to go into eGenda electronically and take a look at agendas, you should see budget steering committee meeting, in-camera council, PAC. You could find.
What about the Raisin Region Conservation Authority?
So no, because they're not our organization. But, down the road, if organizations want to see what we're using, because this is a meeting management type of software, but it's really only like City of Cornwall. The one good thing with this, though, too, is I believe that we'll be able to have users that will be able to generate reports from committees that are external to the city. Before with eGenda, you had to be a city employee. So if we had somebody that was working on a committee, they can't generate a report on their own. They'd have to, like the library, for example, can't generate an eGenda report. Now they can.
Yep.
With this system.
Okay, so now let's look at how you can mark up your documents. So this bar here, I'm going to go through the buttons to show you. This one here will move your pages one at a time. The next one, you can actually type in the page number that you want. It will bring you to that page. And it shows you it's one of 3 pages. This will maximize or make your screen bigger. This will make it smaller. You can search, and you'll notice I skipped the crayon because when I click the crayon, it's going to do something special. So you can search this document for whatever word you're looking for, and again, it's whatever screen that is there. So this search is only for that one report. You can take the whole screen, and you can shut this down. So I'm going to shut the search. When I click on the pencil or the pen, it brings up another toolbar, and this is how you're going to be marking up your document. So the first one, there's one missing here from this screen. Yeah, that's odd. So let's use this one here. It shows up properly. The first one here is freelance. So you can draw whatever you want with your pen or with your mouse. So if I click on it and I can make notes with my mouse. If I want to undo that, I can click on the back arrow. It will take off, undo, or I can redo, put them back. This one here, the second one, lets me put a comment. So if I click on it and put it next to where I want to make my note, I can actually go in and type something. Post it, and it goes away. You can see the little box there. You don't see what's in it. You click on it, and you're able to read what you put. This one here is highlighting. So if you want to highlight something specific,
Madam,
yeah,
those notes are internal to just you, right?
just you.
Same as the other notes?
Yeah. So all the notes that you make is private mode only. So there's my highlighting. I can underline. Well, I'm supposed to be able to underline.
Why not recognize it as text?
There we go, underlining. I can strike through, so if you want to put lines through it. You can draw a straight line. You can draw a rectangle. You can draw a circle. And again, you can use the arrows to back up, redo, and undo. You can close it, and you see that it's gone. But whenever you open up your attachments again, your annotated version will come up.
So you said you can make notes with a pen. Is that those pens you buy at the...
It comes with your Surface Pro.
You would have had one with your Surface Pro. Do you remember the silver one? It might be in your bag
Oh,
someplace.
it's probably deep in this bag somewhere.
You were issued a stylus.
I do seem to remember that now. Oh, God, yes. I'm over beer after.
You're all on the list.
That's gotta be in here somewhere. I seem to remember it.
If I look at
Actually, it's on my desk at home.
shit,
I forgot I had it. It's been so long.
It also acts as a
somebody sold me.
mouse, like
Okay.
you can use your pen, I believe, to double click on stuff, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's how you can mark up your documents. Conflict of interest. Whenever there's a conflict of interest and you've submitted your form to us, Debbie will go into the system and program the conflict of interest. So if you look on your page 17, halfway through the page, down the page, you'll see conflict of interest, and you'll see that the highlighted item that is in blue shows a red check mark, and that means that that item there has a conflict of interest declared.
It'll tell you who?
I'm sorry?
If I click on it, it'll tell me who has the conflict?
Yes.
Okay.
It will bring up the name, and if you click on the name, it will bring up the reason.
Oh, nice, okay.
So the system also creates reports for us. So rather than record those manually and create a list for attendance, there's all kinds of reports that we can prepare, the system does it for us. So you can go on yourself and, I'm going to take that back. I'm not sure if you can view the report, but we can view the report and use that report and post it. If you're in the middle of a meeting and you're reading this item here and you kind of lose track of where the meeting is at, you can always click on the little banner down here at the bottom. The white banner will bring you automatically to where Debbie or I are on the meeting site, and will bring you to the item that we're discussing automatically. And that, folks, in a nutshell, is how you use the system.
Okay, so,
So I have a question for
Yep.
council. So I want to follow the meeting on the meeting site, but I have notes. Do I have to have my version open only to see the notes?
Yes.
Tried signing in.
So let's say that we're following the meeting right now,
Yeah,
and we're at the Poppy Drive,
yeah.
right? So you just click on it and you'll see the motion.
Oh, but as long as you open up the attachment there, it's going to
Yes.
show your notes? Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
So you can open all that.
Yeah, all right. I gotcha.
You go to the next item, and again, if you have any notes, you click on your attachments, open all, and you'll see them all. And you just keep going down the list. And so that ribbon down there is just if you lose track of where we are in the meeting.
Well, you had a question there, Sid, if you want to ask it
yeah,
first.
my question is, why was this system bought and put in place? Is it for efficiency?
For a lot of different reasons.
Okay, yeah.
So let me start with your reason. You can make your own private notes online now, and they're viewable just for you.
Okay, that's fine.
We're saving paper, so the idea is that we go paperless.
So the previous system that we were using is something that we bought, it got implemented in late 2008, when I first came to the city. But that system was a homegrown, kind of a homemade solution for Cornwall. It has no support. It has very limited capability with respect to being able to allow other committees access to use it. But the system is not, I would say it's not a stable, long-term problem. So we're having problems internally using the system. It's no longer supported. So one of the biggest risks is we want to have a system that is properly supported and reliable. I think that this also will work much better with our website. So part of there's not very many systems that do this type of work for municipalities. This particular system is compatible with the city's website. And so it will have good functionality for the public when they want to be able to go in and search our agendas. Another thing that it will do, and Minot touched on it, but if somebody pulls up a webcast meeting, the webcast now is going to, if you want to go to a certain part of the meeting, you don't have to sit and watch and figure out, oh, it was after this or before this. It will actually take you to that item on the agenda.
Okay, so
But the previous system had to be replaced because it was starting to fail and it has no support. It was a homemade type of system.
this reminds me a little bit of the system they put in social services that nobody understood for a long time and nobody was trained properly to be able to use it. Tonight, I'm a dinosaur just like Matt.
By the time I figure this out, that he's swearing in a new council.
So a paper copy, for example, can be printed and generated. You'll have it. It'll be paged. Just from an efficiency perspective, when the agenda is ready and published, Minot has to hit one print button and the whole thing plus attachments prints. With our other system, we have to go in, we have to print every report, we have to print individually every attachment, we have to have a group downstairs that puts them all in proper order and makes sure that they're properly, right. So there are some very big manual processes. It's no big deal to provide a paper copy, so if you don't want to use the electronic version in the app, that is okay. I think that over time, you might find the app handy because it's on your tablet, but
At the end of the day, you're right. I mean, I want to use this. But if this is the training we got tonight, there's so many things on there that I have no idea what the hell they are.
right. So we're
Unless
going
I
to give
get
you.
proper training.
So this is an overview. After this meeting, I'll be activating your accounts and you'll be able to log in. If you want a one-on-one, and I can sit with you and show you through the system on an actual agenda, I'm happy to do that for you.
That'll need to be done, or else I'll just stay with the paper.
No.
I'll just get my 12-year-old granddaughter showing up.
Yeah, there you go.
It is, I think once you get in and start to So I know that there's, I can tell you right now, I know that there's counselors that we have that will pick up on it quite quickly. My recommendation would be, if you're going to sit down with Minot, my recommendation would be perhaps Minot can see if she has time on a Monday on the day of an agenda. So you've probably had time to read the agenda fully on the weekend. Then you can come in on Monday. Minot can walk you through it electronically. And then between your hard copy and the electronic version, you can start to get more comfortable using the app.
I do want to use it because it looks good, but I need to know what all these things that you're clicking on mean.
I will be able to show you, guide you through. I will be able to guide you through step by step. But I'm going to continue to answer your question why we changed. So if I look at this agenda here, our last agenda, there are 52 attachments. We had to manually click print 52 times, assemble the agenda manually, and get our staff to photocopy it and insert the tabs. That is on a regular agenda that's not too heavy, too light. It's half a day's process. The difference here is that I'll be able to click on that one PDF and print 10 copies or 11 copies that I need with the click of one button, and the machine does all the work. So I've just eliminated 6 hours of work for my staff.
No, and I get that, I understand.
The system is accessible, so it meets all the accessibility guidelines and follows the laws, like the conflict of interest, the different reports that you can produce. And it is supported, so there's always updates being released. So it's a long-term solution. It's not stuck with what we have today. So there's lots of changes we can do, and they have taught us how to make those changes. So I programmed everything that's in here. I've programmed it myself. They taught me how to do that. So.
See, I'll give you an example. These tests we're supposed to do to find out what we should be doing to not have somebody go into our system and whatever the hell they call those
Your IT
questionnaires.
security?
Yeah. So I get there, I click on it, it comes up. But then something else comes up, and what do I put in there? I have no idea. So I haven't done it. I've done one.
And said,
But
password, and I put a password in and nothing comes up.
yeah. So if we've got a problem with that, we're gonna have a hell of a problem with this. And I've been to
Not
IT, and they do like my son. Thank you, but what the hell did you just do? Confused.
He's waiting for your laptop right now.
I haven't got my VCR
You
working.
can have it.
Signing in on it?
Yeah.
So that wraps up the training for today. But again, if you want one-on-one training, want to sit down with me and we'll create the things and I'll have you do it rather than me just click here and there, I'm happy to do that. And Maureen had a great idea. If you review the agenda and then you know what kind of notes you want to make it on your hard copy, come see me and I'll show you how to produce all that on the system.
It's like most things, you play with it and
Yes.
trial and error.
So, and the manual includes every button on here. So there are things that maybe you don't want to use and some things that you may want to use, but this manual here has every button that we went through.
We're still going to provide hard copies to those counselors that have requested hard copies in the past.
Until you tell us that you're comfortable with the system and no longer need
And
the
if
copy.
you would, like if we have, I think we have 3 counselors, right, that deal with it electronically? So for the first meeting, if you would
Yep.
like to have, no,
No.
you think you're okay?
Yep.
Well, our
Day work. There's nothing like a trial by fire to make sure you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I think.
Worst case scenario, I have a pen and pad, I can write
you'll
things
find
down.
it. I think you'll find it.
I'll read the agendas and.
We will have, I think what we will do though is we'll make sure that we have 1 or 2 spare copies. We'll have some spare copies available.
So the other thing to remember is that you can access your notes on your app only. If you come to council and you forgot your tablet, you can still view it electronically on the desktop, but you will just see what you would see on a website. So you'll see every report, you'll see all the attachments, you just won't be able to make your notes.
He takes over my life,
Yeah, we'll send us something.
and he does.